This time of the year, it is really easy to check out, especially if you don't have the results that you wanted to create over the last 12 months. So just like the person that says that they're going to start their diet on January 1st, it's very common for small business owners who haven't hit their goals to completely check out and tell themselves that they'll start off fresh in the new year. And that is one of the reasons why I really detest New Year's resolutions. It's just another false starting point when in truth we have a choice in every single moment to make a powerful new decision rather than a decision from resignation. So this week and next week, I'm literally going to coach you. I want you to have a sense of clarity and certainty before New Year arrives. I want you to feel anchored into resourceful and powerful emotions, and I want you to have taken a step towards creating the self-concept that you need in order to start creating the results that you want to have. And before we start, here's a thought that I want you to borrow from me as we do this work together. And that thought is this: there is plenty of time left this year for me to get different results and to create a powerful plan for growth. You might want to write that one down. Now, because I'm going to be sharing coaching resources that I use with my clients, I've created a PDF for you so that you can download it and really maximize the potential of this work. I'll make sure I put that thought right across the top. So please make sure you go download that in the notes right now, because you might want to start using it as we go through. But if not, you have that reference point to start using as soon as you get off of this podcast. So if you're ready, let's dive into the GROW model of coaching and get you moving. I am really excited to share this GROW model with you today. And just to be clear, when I work with my clients on a one-to-one or in my small group coaching, I use the power of questions just like those I'm about to share with you today and in the PDF. I use intuitive guidance and I use subconscious reprogramming and mentoring. Now, coaching, as you probably know by now, is ultimately about asking questions to help you find your own answers. But it's also very easy to get stuck in your current model of the world, which leads you to kind of like draw a blank and go straight to I don't know. So if during the session today with me now, or when you're filling out your forms afterwards, you draw that blank and you're like, I don't know, and nothing comes up for you, just try these on for size. What if I did know? What might the answer be? Just those two questions will just help to bypass that subconscious and just open a doorway for you to get an answer. So now we've got that set down, let's go straight into the GROW model. Now, the GROW model is a 4-step framework. It's very, very simple. The G stands for goal, getting clear on your goal, and also, which is really important, having an understanding of why it's important to you and what values it meets for you. R stands for reality. Where are you now? And in that space, we're going to create some context for creating action steps based on where you're at. O stands for generating options and opportunities, seeing options and opportunities for growth and for your action. And finally, W stands for the way forward. This is where you make your commitment. So what's going to happen is this. I'm going to give you 3 questions from each stage. These questions are going to be in your PDF with space for you to kind of like to really go into them and write them out and sit with them and feel them, do whatever you need to do so that you do this exercise, not just from a place of kind of ticking the sheet, but really with the thought that this is a powerful decision you've made, which is going to create growth and results for you based on the intention, attention, and energy that you bring to it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you 3 questions from each stage, 3 questions that you're going to dive into and answer. And my suggestion is that you answer them all, even if it feels like sometimes you're repeating yourself. Because a big part of growth is that we tend to function from the same models. The models of a reality, the models of thinking, the models of what we believe to be true. And that is what has created who you are up until today and what has created the results that you have up until today. So when we require change, when we've got goals that we want to set, you can see how we're going to have to challenge the models that we have so that we can shift into new ways of thinking and new ways of being. So please give yourself permission to dive into these questions, answer them fully, answer them deeply. Even if your brain is giving you all kinds of head drama, just turn the brain off and just answer the questions. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 3 tips or concepts to help you go through it. And again, this will all be in the PDF. So starting with the G for the goal. The first thing I want to share with you is if it doesn't match your values, it will be very hard to achieve. One of the things that I realized way too recently than I care to share, having worked with a new coach, is that when I did my values come out as love and family, connection, etc., etc. And nowhere in my top 10 was success, abundance, achievement, money, prosperity, like nothing. Nothing about money and success was in my top 10 values. Now I can see why it's been somewhat of an uphill battle to create what I want to create. So the good news is that you can change your values around to suit the goal that you're working towards. Just on a quick side note, the other thing to note is that oftentimes one of the reasons that we get into working for ourselves is we all crave a sense of freedom. But there's a part of our brain that says there is so much work involved with growing your small business, you're going to deny yourself of all freedom. And so our brain encourages us to find lots of ways not to do the work. So just notice if that is you. So if it doesn't match your values, I'd encourage you to go do a values test. Find something on Google that you can use. Second of all, trying to do the goal, to get the goal to achieve certain ways of feeling. Like if I get this goal, I'm going to feel successful, I'm going to feel happy, I'm going to feel contented. That's back to front. When we are looking to achieve something and create an external reality in order for us to feel a certain way, we've got creation back to front. And thirdly, when you're writing down about your goal, if it feels yucky when you write it, if there is a part of you that's going, oh, this is horrid, please look for the thought that's creating that emotion. Now, in the next episode, I'm going to take you through the model, and you'll know exactly what I mean when I say to you, find the thought that's causing the emotion. So you might want to just hold off on that one. So here are the 3 questions for the goal. Number 1, what is it specifically that you want to achieve? Number 2, what is the deeper meaning or personal significance that this goal has for you? And number 3, tell me more about what this perfect result looks like. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Like smell, taste, and touch, all of the things. Tell me all of the things. Now listen, I want you to notice immediately whether you're going, oh my God, I've done this a million times. This is part of the problem. We hear things, we know things, but we don't do it with the right energy. So just answer the questions. There's only 3. Now let's move on to reality. So remember, when we talk about reality, these are our current circumstances. Here's my 3 gifts for you. Number 1, your power is in making decisions that are made from possibility, not from circumstance nor resignation. Think about when you like, oh my God, I don't have any choice, let me make a decision. It's a shitty decision. Think about when you say, well, I can't do that because I don't have the money, I don't have the resources, I don't have the time. You're acting from circumstance. Part of creating this amazing new goal for your business is that you have to become the person. You have to become resourceful. You don't have the time to be focused on circumstance because we're generating from the future goal. That's where your power is in making decisions from possibility. Number 2 is that Eckhart Tolle shared something in his book, The Power of Now, which I loved and still love. Is this. It is your current experience and not your life experience. No current experience has to last forever. Okay? And number 3, my favorite thing, this is my saying to you, to all of my clients, there is never any shame, no blame, no judgment. So whatever your current circumstance is, do not shame yourself, do not blame yourself, do not judge yourself. It is not helpful, it is destructive, and it won't move you forward. Your 3 questions for reality are, where do you feel you are now concerning your life goal or the goal that you've written down? Would you be able to rank this out of 1 to 10? Number two, so far, what has helped your progress? What has held you back? Now, don't just answer these questions like, Go into it. The more you can lean into this, the more you can reveal, the more aha moments you invite for yourself. And number 3, what do you feel you need to achieve your goal? What do you think is missing? How could you achieve that? How could you get that? How could you realize that? Great. Okay, so now we're moving on to options and opportunities. Here's my 3 offerings for you. Number 1, there is always a way. Sometimes your option, your opportunity is a new way to think, a new way to feel, a new way to behave. Sometimes it's just a brand new option. Think outside the box. Number 2, your self-concept is far more powerful than your strategy. period. And number 3, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is insanity. I know you've all heard that one. So notice where you keep coming back to the same thing but just slightly different. Maybe that's not the right answer. Maybe that's the thing that's keeping you as this dizzy dreamer, and to step into the powerful achiever, we have to create something new. And remember, the something new is you more often than it is a strategy. So our opportunity questions are this. Number 1, what do you see as the first step to accomplishing your goal? Number 2, can you think of some alternatives? Is there another way? This is generating options, right? There's nothing wrong with one option, but let's just discuss some more. Let's just see how else might this happen. That's sometimes where the gold is. And number 3, what would you do if time, money, and resources were not an issue? Really interesting just to see what comes up for you there. And then we're going to go into the final step, the way forward. 3 big concepts for you. Number 1, it is your tiny actions that you take consistently that create the big results. Please don't keep buying into it. It's this massive action all the time that makes a difference. That's what keeps people as dizzy dreamers. It is the consistency of the tiny things that you do every day. If you have not read the book, The Slight Edge, you must read it. Number 2, your biggest skill is emotional resilience. Notice in your business, and you'll see this so clearly when you do the model next week. Notice it in your business, when you are in thoughts that are holding you back from taking action, and you identify the emotions that those thoughts create, 9 times out of 10, it is your strong desire to avoid emotional discomfort that is driving your decisions. So when you understand that you can manage any emotion that comes up for you, there is nothing that you need to be scared of. And number 3, mind your timeline. So if you're telling yourself you want to achieve something in 3 months, but you know there's a whole heap of inner work, brain work to do, 3 months might not be long enough, and that's okay. A lot of you are doing is causing yourself so much mental distress because you're compressing a timeline into something because you want it to happen so bad, but then you're constantly in a state of lack and not having it. So the 3 questions for the way forward are these. Number 1, from the options above that you've previously generated, which one will you start with? Just pick one. Number 2, what specific actions will you take to achieve your goal, and what is your time frame? So with the time frame, if you make it, there's 2 things here, and this is where you have to really anchor into your own thoughts and feelings around this. If you make the timeline too long, are you giving yourself too much space? Are you telling yourself that it's not possible for you? And it just gives you time to kind of sit back and relax a little bit too much? Or are you making it so short that you're making it impossible for yourself? So you have to find it, but don't be too attached to the timeline. And then the third one, actually, I think I've got 4 questions on here for you. What do you see as potential barriers? Being able to notice what your barriers might be, whether it's a brain barrier or physical barriers for you, identifying them is really, really key. And how committed do you feel to this particular option that you've chosen out of 10? How committed are you? And what are some of the ways that you can get to 10? Now, this is a great question for you to use in the model next week. You can use the model to identify what's stopping you from being a 10 and then choose the thoughts around that. It'll all make sense when you listen to next week's episode. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to carve yourself out a couple of hours to do this work. I want you to make this the top priority in your business, in your life right now. Don't check out right now. Check in to your dreams. You can light candles. You can, pour yourself a Bellini. You can slice a piece of Christmas cake, whatever. Make it fun. This isn't a chore. This is a stepping stone to your success. So enjoy it. Choose your thoughts. Choose your feelings around it. Download the PDF. Go do that now and get that done. And then I want you to consider that you can guarantee your results by grabbing one of the one-to-one coaching opportunities that I've got available to you. So very quickly, I've got 3 coaching opportunities available for one-to-one coaching right now. You must sign up before the 31st of December, and here's what is so powerful. Number 1, when you sign up to the one-to-one coaching, you are going to get access to my alchemy chamber, which is also 6 months of coaching, completely free, which is worth $997. That means that I am holding you in a container completely for 6 months, where you get one-to-one coaching with me once a week. You get groups, very, very small group coaching in the Alchemy Chamber once a week. I go teaching and mentoring once a week in the Alchemy Chamber. And there is a Facebook page where you can ask questions 24/7. There is no reason for you to feel scared or anxious or uncertain or that you're not making progress, because I'm holding you completely for 6 months. Only 3 spots available. You must sign up before the end of this year, and the investment is $3,000. DM me or email me at contact@louisecartwright.com if you want to grab one of those now, because they will go. What else I want to say to you? Yeah, I'll tell you more about the Alchemy Chamber very quickly. The Alchemy Chamber is a $997 investment. It hasn't even launched yet. It's brand new, and I'm looking for 7 founding members. The next launch, it will be double the price. We start in January. The launch is the 4th of January. That's when the doors open. But you can get on the wait list now. I'll make sure that I put that link in the notes as well. So listen, you can make progress at whatever level you want. If you want to go it alone and go it a bit slower, that's not a problem. Do this work and come back and listen to next week's and do that work as well. If you want to guarantee your results, what I forgot to mention is the one-to-one coaching. There is a money-back guarantee. If you don't make progress in 6 months with the 3 things that I'm offering you in that container, I will give you your money back. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. And I want you to remember, my sole job is to let you know that you have got this and I have got you. So with that being said, make sure you go download your PDF, get yourself on the wait list for the Alchemy Chamber, or reach out to me for one-to-one, and make sure you schedule in your diary to come back on the 23rd and listen to the next coaching installment, when we're going to be talking about the model, which is one of my favorite things in the entire world. So until then, I'll speak to you in the next episode of the Your Rich Life podcast.